Hello everyone, I'm Professor Shashank from Department of Civil Engineering. For the upcoming sixth semester from Department of Civil Engineering, we are offering open elective subject as Remote Sensing and Geographical Information System. You may note down the code 22CV642. As Remote Sensing and GIS is an interdisciplinary subject, it has been kept open for all branches except civil engineering. I just would like to give you an overview of remote sensing and GIS. So before going to start the concepts which are present in the GIS, just I would like to give how the GIS and remote sensing and GPS technology has been used in the industry. As you all know, many popular applications such as Google Map, Zomato, Ola Cabs, and all these things are the location-based applications. So these all platforms are based on the remote sensing, GIS, and GPS technology. Coming to who is using remote sensing and GIS, many international organizations like World Bank, UNEP, FAOs, and private industries like transportation sector, real estate sector, insurance peoples, and some government sector bodies like Ministry of Environment, housing boards, and all these people are making use of this GIS. Even NGOs are using, and even as we are using as academic institutes and research institutes like DRDO, ISRO are also using this technology. So as you all know, nowadays one of the popular technology, drone surveying technology, it also uses remote sensing and GIS tool to create the map, to process the data and all these things. And this is the technology where it helps us to produce the data in the form of image or in the form of map. So many data are available in the form of table, but it is very difficult to read it. So if you want to understand the overview of the data, so you have to present it in the form of graphical representation or in the form of map, so that anyone can understand without any language barrier. So these are the some of the examples where we can represent the data in the form of image. So coming to the syllabus, the remote sensing and GIS subject is divided into five parts. As you all know, 5 units. The first unit deals with remote sensing, sensors, and platforms. Second unit deals with global positioning system, aerial photogrammetry, and third unit deals with GIS and coordinate system, and fourth unit deals with image interpretation and drone survey, and fifth unit you are going to learn about the applications of remote sensing and GIS in the industry. So these are the some of the contents as I told. So in unit 1 you are going to learn the base of the remote sensing, how it works, how electromagnetic radiation works, and what are the different platforms available, and what are the different sensors available in the market. And this is the just overview of remote sensing, how it works. These are the different sensors available in the industry. And unit 2 deals with GPS, how it work, and how we are getting GPS signals, and how the GPS receivers can calculate our location precisely. And the second parts you are going to learn aerial photogrammetry, how to take the pictures and how to convert the pictures into maps or measurable uh, items that can be done in the aerial photogrammetry. And these are the some of the examples. So unit 3 deals with the geographical information system, how it works, what are the components, what are the different type of data structures which are present in the GIS. It means GIS supports what kind of data, how to process, how to produce the maps, all these things you are going to learn under unit 3, as well as you are going to learn the coordinate systems available under geographical information system. So these are the some of the uses of GIS, where we can take the data from different uh, modules and we can integrate into one module. And unit 4 deals with the image interpretation and integration of remote sensing and GIS. So in image interpretation, you are going to learn how to interpret the satellite images, and in integration of remote sensing and GIS, here you are going to learn how to integrate the remote sensing data in GIS software. And also you are going to learn about some fundamental concepts of drone and applications of drone. So in unit 5, you are going to learn about applications of remote sensing, GIS and GPS in many industries or in many sectors, such as land use, land cover mapping, change detection, applications of RS and GIS in agriculture, water resource management, and in medical fields also. So these are all the content which is present in this remote sensing and GIS subject. So along with that, I just would like to highlight what would be the benefits of this subject or after learning this subject. So recently from 2022, the GATE has announced the GATE subject called as geomatics engineering. So you can write this subject, and most of the syllabus which is present in this open elective is almost same as the GATE syllabus. This is the GATE syllabus given by the IITs and IIScs. And here you can see in 2002 I have appeared for the GATE and have scored all India ranking 75. So even you can study this subject and you can take the GATE paper and you can score good marks in this geomatics engineering. If you uh, qualify the GATE, you can directly enter into the MTech in NITs and IITs. And in this college, we have a nodal center from Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, ISRO. So even you can take many subjects related to this remote sensing and GIS. Free courses are available. You can take a part of that, and this subject will encourage you to learn more on this remote sensing and GIS, and also you will learn how to implement this in your branches. So I hope you understood the concept of this. If you are really interested into this subject, you are it is open to take for you. Thank you.
Yes, good morning, dear students. Myself, Dr. K.K. Mirji, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, KLS Gote Institute of Technology. Today, I'm here to give you some introductory session on the open elective course, Linear Algebra, and whose course code is 22 mat 661. So, in this course, here I have made three parts. So one is what do you mean by linear algebra and where it is actually applicable, and the second thing is relevance of the course, and the third thing is what are the detailed objectives or syllabus that is being covered in the upcoming the course. So here, linear algebra is a branch of mathematics and continues to figure prominently in computer science and electrical engineering. Next, the computation, geometry, theory, practical applications, and a few other things. Simply put, a linear algebra is a study of the vectors, matrices, vector spaces, and linear transformations. So here, relevance of the course in the various branches of engineering. So the few of them I have the covered. The first one is rank in search engines. So here in this case, so what will happen is one of the most important application of linear algebra is the creation of Google. The most complicated ranking algorithm is created with the help of linear algebra. The second thing is that is signal analysis. So in the signal analysis, it is mainly used in encoding, analyzing, and manipulating the signal that can be either audio, video, or images, etc. Next, the third one is linear programming. So that is either either minimization or maximization of any given the problem. That is in the optimization. Here it's an important application of linear algebra, which is widely used in the field of linear programming. The next is that is facial recognition. An automated facial recognition technology that uses linear algebra, algebraic expressions, is called the principal the component analysis, that is PCA. And so where we can use that is linear algebra. The next one is graphics. So the graphics means actually here what actually we'll do is by using the linear transformations will actually transform the three-dimensional given space into the two-dimensional one. So here mainly it can be called as that is a projecting, that is three-dimensional scene on a two-dimensional screen, which is handled only by linear maps and which are explained by linear algebra. So now here the course objective. In the course objective, the first actually basically what we need to know as a beginner in the linear algebra, there is a group theory. So that is the group, the next permutation groups, isomorphism, and then field. So once if we understand the field, then we can very easily move on towards what that is linear algebra. So next here is the vector spaces. So to define a vector spaces, so we can take a help of the previous that is the detailed syllabus. The vector spaces, the subspaces, bases and dimensions, a summary of row equivalence, and the computation concerning subspaces. The next one is that is linear transformation. As I said, there is a three-dimensional to two-dimensional the projection. So that is we'll be doing with the help of what that is linear transformation and its algebra. So next, isomorphism, the representation of a transformation by matrices, linear the functional, and inverse linear the functional. So in the next that is inner products. Inner products means it's like the distances between the two the points in the space, right? So next, inner product spaces, those the distances the spaces will be the finding, and that will be applying the definition of the vector spaces. The next, orthogonal sets and the projections, then QR factorization, all the things will be studying. Next, in the next this one will be studying diagonalization, quadratic forms, and constraint optimization, singular value decomposition. So this is all about that is the syllabus or the objective that we are going to cover in the linear algebra course, and which will be floated forward, that is 6th semester of BE, right? uh, Thank you for your patience hearing.
Uh, Hello students, this is Sanjana Joshi, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics. For the 6th semester, we are floating an open elective named Applied Statistics. So basically, in this, we'll try to understand what is the importance of the statistics for engineers. See, basically, when we talk about engineering, we tend to collect certain data from the experiment and also from other activities. So engineering basically relies upon the statistics in many ways. Say it be in terms of the modelings for solving the problems, which will basically help us to make the decisions by making use of the concept of probability. Now, to talk about the syllabus, the first unit basically talks about the scope of statistics in many fields, maybe it in terms of business or economics or biology, etc. And also, we do talk about the limitations of statistics. By taking the input of the seniors, we have also put in few of the new concepts into Unit 1, say how to find out the central tendencies and the measure of dispersion. That also will be dealt in Unit 1. In Unit 2, we talk about the moments, the skewness, and the kurtosis. Also, we will be taking the practical and engineering related examples in this Unit 2. In Unit 3, few of the students from CS and IS background would have already talked about or learnt about the multiple correlation and regression. We shall be talking about it in terms of how the probable error can be found out, and also how different rank correlation coefficients can be found out. And we also talk in depth about the linear square fitting and the error computation. Also, this taken in consideration for the engineering related problems. And Unit 4, we talk about the analysis of variance, different varieties and the experimental designs is also dealt in this particular topic. And then we shall talk about the non-parametric tests, which we have not dealt with CS and IS students for the lower semesters. Now, what is the use of the statistics for engineers? Now, basically, whenever we talk about the role, we actually talk in terms of engineering, wherein we need to optimize certain designs. Also, we need to optimize the process, and then we make use of the products. And this together is called as design of experiments in statistics. By making use of this design of experiment approaches, the production process can be greatly optimized, which will obviously lead to the increased product quality, and also it lowers the cost and the reliability is increased too. And to talk about the quality control, of course, in engineering, the major phenomena is of quality control, with this being a critical and a fundamental issue, which makes sure the products and the services which are given will meet the required standards, both in terms of quality and the safety. So, quality control statistics is used, and obviously, the risk analysis, as we know, it is nothing but the process of assessing the likelihood and the severity of the potential risk to make informed decisions. Statistics is going to help us by knowing what will be the risks and how the engineers can make a better decisions so that the risk is reduced, there is a maximization of the productivity, and obviously minimize the losses. And then statistics helps in better decision making. See, if at all, if there is a product which is being built and there is a failure which happens in a part of a system, then statistical analysis will help us to identify what is the underlying cause which is causing the system failure. And also, the concepts such as regression analysis helps the engineers to identify the factors which influence a particular process in which they are working, and it will help us to make a better decisions. And predictive modeling, of course, which is in boom right now. Predictive modeling uses the statistics which gives us what may be the future results for the given project. This makes use of machine learning algorithms, regression, time series forecasting, etc. Obviously, by making use of this predictive modeling, we well know that it will be helping us to make in good choices, in precise intelligent choices, and also organizing upcoming tasks accordingly. Now, that is why to select applied statistics as the open elective is because engineering is just not engineering. It is nothing but the amalgamation of many disciplines. So statistics is include. So starting from the basic probability, from the schooling to the experimental design to testing the hypothesis for the quality control, and also to make the better decisions, and also to understand what are the risks involved in the real world environments, statistic is very much useful. Hence, please take care to make use of this applied statistics as one of your open electives. Thank you.
Company which is going to, generally IT companies which are going to hire, the basics knowledge of all these are given, especially ENC students and electrical students. uh, for those students this subject is very very useful. Now, what are the industry applications of data structures? When we say that we have learned, when we learn this subject, when we study this subject, or when we come across all the concepts of these concepts in the data structures, where do we apply? In industry, in e-commerce, in e-commerce websites that search and recommendation engines with the help of trees and hash tables. In social media, especially for graphs for connections and recommendations, in social media we are going to use this. And in gaming applications, pathfinding and AI with the help of graphs, priority queues. Then finance, real-time processing with the help of heaps, stacks. These are the concepts. In healthcare applications, we use for efficient patient record management, maintenance, that is trees and linked lists. So overall, this data structure is applicable in all the areas. See, in the e-commerce it is applicable, in social media, in gaming, in finance, and in healthcare. Most of the things are covered here. So uh, opting this subject and studying it thoroughly with a good uh, uh, coverage of the syllabus, the basic knowledge, you can gain good basic knowledge, then that basic knowledge you can apply it to the industry, which will be very helpful. So now I request all the students, especially ENC electrical, to opt this subject, so which will be very useful for you, and hope you see you soon. Thank you.
A very good morning, students. Today, I, Professor Pawan Korlali from Department of CSC, KLS GIT, will be giving a brief introduction about the open elective subject called as Python programming, along with its applications. Now, first you need to know is for any what you can say non-CSC branch students, first you need to know is why we should study Python programming languages. The main thing is Python is very beginner friendly as compared to C, C++ or Java. This syntax or whatever the pattern of writing a program is too simple and very easy to understand. Next is versatility. Due to its wide range of application which provides it to make it happen possible by using a Python programming language, we can build a web applications, AI applications, data science applications, anything. This is why Python is also called as general purpose programming language. Now, to make it happen possible, the Python property, which is versatility, it has its own wide range of libraries and framework, which makes it possible for the general purpose programming language. And one more thing is, it is a cross platform and open source. When we talk about the cross platform, is it may be any operating systems like Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. It doesn't matter to Python programming. The interpreter will support any kind of operating system. And the best part of the Python is it is open source, means which is freely available in the online resources. Next is, due to its high popularity, it has very strong supportive community in the real world, where that is the reason why it is so beginner friendly and versatile. Now, if I want to give you an just overview of your syllabuses, the first you will be learning the things of Python fundamentals, like what is Python, what are the features of it. Next, you will be learning the syntax of it, how you can write loops, code conditions, what are the data types, and etc. Data structures. Everything you will be learning in the first module. Next module comes is functions and data types, where a function is nothing but we can just generally saying is just a piece of a code or a block of a snippet of a code where it can be used to execute n number of times when it is called. Along with it, you will be studying different data types like dictionaries, list, tuples, set in the Python, where it has its own wide range of its functionalities and methods which provides to it. Next, in the third module, you will be learning about the files, where how to manipulate a file or open a file, read a file, or write a file. It may be any category of file, whether it is a text file or a binary file, or whether it is an image file, etc. Exception handling. A good programmer is a programmer who can not only code, but also he must be very good in handling the bugs also. The exception handling gives a very nice features, or it gives you an just an idea how you can what you can say is like you can debug the errors, or how learn how to code it and debug the errors and solve the problems in the ongoing applications. Next, the Python is very versatile, where it gives you a feature called as GUI programming. The libraries or the toolkits like Tinketer or PyGTK or Pygame, which allows a user or a programmer to build an GUI applications, or to build an GUI user-friendly applications. Next, in the fourth module, the students will be learning object-oriented programming. The concepts like class, objects, encapsulation, abstraction, what you can say is inheritance, polymorphism. These are main objects. These are the main concepts which are involved in object-oriented programming. You will be learning those in the fourth module. In the last module, you will be learning the packages in the Python. Now, if I want to say is, if you want to build any of the AI applications, the Python provide its own packages and the frameworks for to make it happen possible. Like TensorFlow is one of an packages which allows you to build an AI application using Python. If I want to talk about, if you want to build any numerical application, your computational applications, you need to use a package called as NumPy. These all the packages are being provided in the Python itself to make it much more user friendly. This is just an overview of the syllabus, students. Next is, now you can ask what are the different job opportunities we get if we learn Python. The first thing is you can be as a Python developer. Next is data scientist and a web developer, cyber security analyst, where the users or the programmers can develop applications which can handle or analyze the cyber security, what you can say, the analysis of the ransomware or a malware, anything it may be. Next is the applications or the DB applications or database applications which are built on Python can be made as a, you can be a database administrator. The last is the game developer. These are just a glimpse of job opportunities, and you can see the image that which all companies just provide you the job opportunities. Or next will be, now when we talk about the industry applications, the Python is so versatile, it gives us 1 million plus industry usages. Python's versatility makes it widely used in various industries like various industries like web application development, desktop applications, or you can say software development, scientific and numeric building applications, or you can be assuming developing and designing applications, image processing application it may be. If I want to talk about which are the applications in the real world which are built using Python, is like you can take an example of Netflix application which is built on the Python programming only. Uber, Spotify, Dropbox, these are some of the applications, industry grade applications which are built on Python. And I request all the students to enroll for this Python course if you want to learn much more in deeper and advanced. Thank you, students.
Good morning, students. This is an open elective called as Total Quality Management. So, in this, you have course learning objectives of basic concepts of management, identify the quality improvement methods, customer satisfaction, and different tools and techniques to improve the quality. The unit one is all about the principle and practices, the gurus of TQM, what are the dimensions of quality, what is quality council, strategic planning, and other things. The unit 2 is customer satisfaction. Nowadays, always there is customer satisfaction things like the star rating on online platforms. Then there is continuous improvement for the service centers. You have continuous improvement processes. So input output process models, PDSA cycle, that is plan, do, study, and act. All these things are there in unit 2. Then you have the performance measures, typical measurement, what type of measurement you require for the quality improvement. Then unit 3 is all about tools and techniques. How do you go with the quality system check, that is benchmarking, the process of benchmarking. Then you have quality management systems, that is benefits of ISO, and case studies on quality management systems. You have different case studies like Amazon, Flipkart. Then you have the service centers with respect to Hyundai, Maruti, Toyota. All these things will be studied in unit 3. Unit 4, it is all about quality function deployment. You have all the processes, how the quality function has to be deployed. Then unit 5 is all about the failure mode effect analysis. We call it as a FMEA, how it failed, why it failed. All this analysis can be done through this documentation. The last part of this is total productive maintenance. You have definition plans, plans in developing plans, how you need to improve the goals and other things. Then you have the flip classes for this. There are some self-study topics, example of FMEA documentation preparation. You can take any of the case studies, like there were many bridges which washed away during the heavy rainfall, or one of the bridge which collapsed these things can be taken and an FMEA document can be prepared on this. For textbooks, you have Westerfield. It is commonly used since many years we are using this book, and it contains everything in this. The course delivery methods, of course, chalk and talk is very minimal. Most of the delivery method is through PPT and videos. Then the other things are remain common for all these things. Then the course outcome, you have all understand levels, because this is a theoretical subject where scoring is between 70 to 80% out of 100. Yeah, that's it.
Hello students, this is Santosh Kulkarni from Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, and the Department of E&C Engineering KLSGIT is offering an open elective for 6th semester students, and these are the details of the subject. Name of the subject is Human Computer Interaction. This is the subject code, and this is for semester 6. So this is going to be the outline of my presentation. We'll go through the introduction, then the prerequisites, skills and competencies enhanced after undergoing this subject, applicable industry sectors and domain, industries offering job opportunities, job roles in the market for students taking up this subject. So in the introductory part, you can see the syllabus. In the unit number 1, the foundation, that is how human and computers usually interact, what are the models of interaction, various frameworks, ergonomics, interaction styles, and you'll be also learning the elements of WIMP interface and interactivity. In unit number 2, you'll be learning about the design process, what are the basics of the design process, then HCI in the software process. So we have two types of processes over here. One is software as well as hardware, and those processes you'll be learning here. Most importantly, you'll be learning about the software life cycle that is implemented across the globe in this domain. Then you'll be learning about the various design rules, principles, standards, guidelines, and you'll be learning about patterns and universal design. In unit number 3, you'll be learning about the models of various interactive systems, and you'll be learning about various architectures, okay, and interactive models, and you'll be learning about the cognitive models of various goals and task hierarchies and all those things. In unit number 4, we'll be learning about implementation and evaluation. So how this human computer interaction or interactive system can be implemented, and later how it can be evaluated. So what all are the evaluation techniques, okay, and how is the user support, and what should be the user support actually, and those things you'll be coming to know in this unit. In the final unit, you will be learning about interactive system applications, wherein you will be learning about various groupware systems, computer mediated communication systems, okay, and you all are familiar with the virtual reality and augmented reality. All those things you'll be learning over here. So there are no specific prerequisites for this particular subject. Uh, some elementary knowledge or basic knowledge or general knowledge about the computation system that we use in our day-to-day life is sufficient. So the skills and competencies, you'll be able to learn the basics of HCI, that is human computer interaction, interactivity, interaction styles, models of interaction, and the framework. Also you will be able to learn how software engineering and the design process actually relate to interactive system design, and you will be able to understand the design rules and develop an effective design process and a universal design. You'll be able to understand different kinds of software engineering formalisms that can be used to specify the behavior of specific systems and study cognitive models, interaction models, and cognitive architectures. You will be able to study the evaluation techniques and design of user support system. You will be able to study the implementation and applications of groupware, ubiquitous computing, and augmented realities, and how they are applied to the interactive system. Applicable industry sectors, we can see almost in all the sectors nowadays computers are used, may it be psychology, ergonomics and human factors, engineering, design, ethnography, branding, sociology, language, computer science. Everywhere human computer interaction is happening. So mainly the application of human computer interaction is in the field of user interface and user experience uh, sector. So you will have whatever job of opportunities you are seeing here, they are taken from various job portals. Here you can see these for these jobs you require the elementary knowledge of this particular subject. So this is a basic level subject wherein, or you may say as an entry level subject through which you can get uh, an idea of what is the user interface and what is user experience, and you will be able to understand the importance of these two after learning this subject. So you can see the UI designer and the product designer, user experience researcher full time, and in designing as well, front end development and the cloud operations. This will act as a foundation. So job roles in detail it has been mentioned over here. So product designer or interaction designer, user experience researcher, user experience engineer or prototyper, and product manager. So these are the career prospects. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Professor Pratigna Ajwan from ANC department, and I'm here to introduce to you an open elective requirements engineering with the subject course code as 22EC644. Requirements engineering is an amazing subject which includes the concept of gathering the requirements, analyzing the requirements, and documenting them in order to come up with a product which is usable by the client or the end user. So the term engineering here implies to the systematic gathering of the requirements, the techniques involved, and also the documentation process. So requirement engineering as a whole is applicable to all the branches, be it circuit branches and non-circuit branches. It's basically a theoretical and a logical reasoning subject with no maths included in it. And it is a process based subject wherein you will be learning how to gather the requirements and take forward the requirements to develop a end product. So let us understand what do we mean by the requirements. So requirements are the request, or say the uh, usage requirements of the clients, be it a software or a hardware product, or it may be a service. For example, if you're looking at Ola and Uber service, so it's a service based product wherein the requirements can be taken from the end user, from the bike ride, from the Uber drivers, then the people who travel across the Ola and the Ubers. So we know now the Ola and the Uber market is different by its requirements and the analysis as well as the execution based on the requirements from the stakeholders. So requirement engineering plays a very key role in the success of the product. So requirement, we say it is a statement that identifies the capability, characteristics, or quality of the system in order for it to have a value and utility to a customer or a user. It is also an important factor in development of any project or a system. Say now supposedly we are a mechanical engineer, we are a civil engineer, we are an ANC engineer, or be it CS engineer. The requirement comes at the crux of developing a product. So if you are developing, a civil engineer is developing a bridge, the requirements should be taken with respect to the people who are going to use it, for what it is going to be done, and what are the specification. Accordingly, a product can be developed. And if it is a service based, or say if we have to develop a mobile phone. Now, if you see on a screen, we have a mobile phone which is blank. So according to the requirement of the client who is going to use it, a mobile phone could be designed, be it its hardware. If you would like to have a sleek mobile phone, a sleek mobile phone could be developed. Similarly, it is very important with respect to other branches in case of developing an end product. So we see it defines what different stakeholders, users, customer, manager, and developer need, and how this system will fulfill their needs. Also, requirements are used as input in any design implementation and validation in case of a product development. Now, if the requirements are not known precisely or they are an ambiguous nature, it is very difficult for a user to use a system because the requirement gathering has not happened properly. So one example is people like if you are using Apple phone, we do not know the requirement of the people who are using Android phone. It becomes difficult for them to access the Apple phone. So the requirement gathering and conversion of those requirements into the end product plays a very important role. And we are now in the subject concentrating on the first part of the requirements engineering, where it comes to requirement gathering, its analysis, its documentation and validation. So it is also important in every organization as it deals with the quality of the products that satisfy the user needs, and complete requirements free from defects are the basis for a successful end-to-end system development. To achieve this goal, we have to apply the requirements engineering practices in every stage of the product development. So let it be at the beginning stage, then the next stage wherein we are converting it into prototype. So every stage requires the requirement engineering concept and the iteration process to be completed. So we say requirements engineering is relatively a new field that provides us a systematic approach for understanding, organizing and documenting the requirements of a system or a product. So it basically consists, your syllabus would be consisting of hierarchy of the requirements, then the requirement elicitation process, then the models that could be used in requirement engineering, requirement analysis and requirement documentation. So the entire syllabus revolves around these concepts, and the syllabus covers each of this aspect. So we can say we could have different methods wherein we can get the requirements. It might be through a survey, or it might be through a questionnaire, or it might be to one-on-one interview with a client. So we would learn different methods of getting the requirement. We also learn the different methods of documenting the requirements. We also learn the different characteristics of each requirement. Is it a technical requirement? Is it a functional requirement? So all of this we will be studying in your syllabus. Also, at the end, once you know the subject, you would be able to be a system engineer who knows the requirement engineering concept, wherein you could apply this in your further process of developing a system. Also, you could also get a role of a requirement engineering. In case of your placement, it plays a very important role for you to know the process of requirements, because any product which comes in the market has to undergo the requirement engineering. Otherwise, a bad design results in a bad product. A good design based on a good requirement gathering results in a good product wherein there are sales. So it is very important with respect to your placement. If you're looking for an entrepreneurship opportunity, the subject is a very good opportunity for you to explore and come up with your startup idea as well. Next, you could also get a role of project manager and a business analyst. Business analyst role these days is trending. With this also, I would like to add in there would be for a great number of opportunities for you to take higher studies with respect to requirement engineering. So if you're planning for MS programs, also it is applicable. If you're planning for an MBA program, it is applicable. So it's all to all, it's a great subject to go in. So yeah, this part to brief you a little more, everything in a nutshell. Requirement engineering is a subject where it requires logical thinking. There's no mathematics involved. It is a process-based subject wherein you gather the requirements based on the client requirement, and you learn the process of gathering, analyzing, and documenting the requirements. With this small introduction, I would welcome you to take the subject and get introduced to requirement engineering in my class. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Manjunath from ENC department. From ENC department, we are offering for open elective for 6th semester embedded system with Arduino. Subject code is 22EC642, and there is a main about this embedded system. It's required for introduction. Prerequisite is required to the basic processor. Nowadays, everyone they are going to use it in the mobile. In each mobile, they are going to use it in different processor. If you know that idea, you can understand the embedded systems. There is a skill and competency enhance after undergoing this subject we'll discuss, and what are the applicable industries and what are the job opportunities and role of embedded system using Arduino. We'll see. Main introduction is embedded system is a combination of hardware and software. You can integrate all the application in one printed circuit boards. With the help of that printed circuit board, you can carry that ICs or the device wherever you want. You can implement, add the different application for manufacturing, domestic applications, audio visual equipments. Either you can use to the gaming or you can use to the telecommunication, medical device, cars and vehicles. Either you can use to the motion sensors also. With the help of sensor you can collect the analog informations. Either it may be explosive chemicals, either if you want to detect the temperature, humidity, etc, etc. Everything you can integrate it in embedded system. You can develop your own application. That is for main introduction. And secondly, it's required for the basic embedded programming language. It's not much is required, only basic idea is C programming. If you know this, easy to adapt and easy to write the assembly code and run the program in the printed circuit boards. And also you can see the basic hardware and software and basic microprocessor and microcontroller. It's required to understanding the embedded system for programming language. And skill is required for competency. There is first one is for technical skill, second one is required for the self motivation, and you have to decide to learn basic idea. And second third thing is you have to investigate mindset. You have to keep it in mind. I wanted to learn for embedded system using Arduino. And the third one is next is it's required for the communication skills. Now application industry, main sector domain is for embedded system. You can go to the government sectors. And the government sector also they are going to use it in embedded application. For example, you can take the banking sectors, ATM machines, or you can take the PCs, or you can take the controlling the device or monitoring the informations. And also you can go to the track the any information with the help of embedded application. And the telecom you can use to the mobiles, or you can take the landline, etc also. And the next one is for retail and healthcare and other different domain also. Everywhere they are going to use it for a embedded system is very important now. And the next one is you can see here, industries offer for the job opportunity for embedded system using Arduino. Basic C programming is required to develop these applications. And also you can use to the embedded C. Either you can use to the programming complex applications, and also you can use to the advanced embedded applications. And also you can use to the how we are going to handling the files, networking application, debugging using the C programming. And also you can use to the embedded networking, RTOS, real-time operating systems. And also what you are going to use in the operating system for Windows or any Ubuntu or kernel operating system. With help of Linux commands, you can develop your own device driver. And also you can design for embedded Linux using C program. These are professional embedded engineer is required basic getting the job opportunity in core industries. And next is rules in the market for the student take up this subject. You can build your IoT embedded system design engineer. And also you can go to the embedded engineer, or you can go to the fireware developers or embedded developer or anything also you can do the in the markets if you take up this subject. And thank you.
Hello to all students. I'm myself Professor Ashish Garge, Department of ENC. I'll be handling the subject Fundamentals of Robotics. So this is the open elective which is being offered by 6 semester students by the ENC department. Once you hear about terms robotics, everybody automatically thinks about hardware. But that's not the case most of the times, because although robotics needs hardware, it also needs software to be along with it to program the robots. But nowadays, if you see, robots are in every domain, so it is not necessary that the subject is applicable only to a single domain or to a single branch. this subject will be applicable to all the branches, because now robots, as you see, are being used in every domain and every industry, not just a hardware industry or a packaging industry or anything like that, but in software industries also. So you everywhere you hear the news that robots are taking up the job of users, but that is not the case, and that is never going to happen. But you might, when you go into industries, you might need to know how you need to program the robots, or in hardware case, how you need to build the robots. So that is where this subject will come into picture and help you regarding. So what we'll be studying as part of, or being presented as part of this, will be what is the importance of robotics, why the other department students have to choose this subject, which due to which it is an open elective. Now, why it is an open elective? First, since this is open elective, because it can be used or understood by any student of any branch. Now, although this is not an industry elective as such, but there is a firm here called Common Cares, where you'll go and carry out different projects in robotics. So you won't be just having a theoretical session, but having a lab session also, wherein you can work and actually know how to actually build robots, not just have everything about theory. And in addition to this, different companies will be are working in this domain, and which we'll see afterwards in this PPT itself, and how to use it. So we'll also see the companies working in this domain, and how will this subject finally help you in getting a job, because that is the ultimate aim. So as part of this, your robotics is actually divided into three various parts, which is just basics about robotics, then history, robotics technology, and various types of robots which are used. So what is a robot? So it's a reprogrammable multifunctional automatic industrial machine. It is designed to replace humans in hazardous work. So designed to replace human, but in hazardous work. So it can be used as an automatic machine sweeper. It could be used as a for a child to play with as an automatic car. A machine which will remove mines in a war field. So you might have seen this in movies nowadays in space. So that is what you have seen now, and military also. So you have recently seen a Mars rover, correct? So it's a robot, but it was designed by Servo Controls, which is here in Belgavi itself. So we can have a visit there. So if you choose this subject, and you can learn how to develop those types of robots also. Now, what about the terms of robotics? So robotics is the science of designing or building an application of robots. So if you put simply, the robotics can be defined just as the study of robots. Now, the aim of robotics as a field is to design an efficient robot, and that is why when we say about robot, it is actually developed by a Czech scientist. So he derived it from the Czech word robota, which means treasury or compulsory labor. And now, why is robotic needed first of all? So firstly, it's for speed, because the speed at which robot operates and the speed at which the human operates are at very different speeds, as you can know. So robots generally tend to operate faster than us. Then it can work in hazardous as well as dangerous temperature. So if you might have seen in fluids and all, wherever the temperature is very high, there instead of humans, if robots are present or used, it will be very helpful. Then it can do the repetitive tasks over and over again. So if we have, let us say, spray painting or anything, it can do this job again and over, and it can do that with very accurate manner. So accuracy of a robot, if it's doing the job over and over again, doesn't change. It does the same job repeatedly with the same accuracy. So that is one of the need of the robot. So industrial robots, if you see, have basically 5 parts: sensors, the effectors, or sensor and effectors, actuators, then the controllers and arms. So sensor is the one wherein that is how the robot takes in the input. Then actuators are which activate the output, controllers, and various arms. So arms will be our output most of in such scenarios. So sensors and will be the part where hardware comes into picture. It's applicable to any branch. Controller is the part where you design the uh, robotic or the software for the robot. Here you can make the robot intelligent. So here you can make the use of machine learning as well as artificial intelligence or AI and make the robot intelligent. So this is where your software engineers come into picture. And ARMS is wherein your output comes into picture. So what should be the output of robots can be decided by this. So this is where the again the other department students can work on it. So arms generally operate through motors, and again actuators is again one type of a relay. So all of these can take place through a multifunctions. So requires what is the requirement of the robotic or robot is a multidisciplinary approach. So all the department students need to come together to build a robot. So that is the necessity of the world robotics or the use of robot in various domains. So this is just showing you the picture of a sensor, effector, controller. Now here IC is shown, but what goes into this is the software part. So this is where the controlling operation of a robot takes place, which is basically a program. So you people will have to write a program to design, or means writing a program means you will have to decide the logic of how the programmer or the how the robot works. So below you can see the arm. So you have to decide logic on based on which the arm will move or grab object. So when you talk about automation and robots, so we have already seen there is automation going on here. So how automation and robots are different? So automation is a machinery which is designed to carry out a specific task. So you can see here there's a bottling machine. So if the bottling machine is present, these tend to have automation wherein just there is a movement of the arm and accordingly the bottles will be packaged. So these are always better than robots, but these are optimally designed for that particular task. So if you have a dishwasher or a paint sprayer, automation is used in that scenario. Whereas robots are actually machinery which is designed to carry out a variety of tasks. So you might have seen in many places pick and place arm or mobile robots, then computer numerical control machines. So this is where your robotics comes into picture. So you might have seen nowadays a pick and place arm, which is very popular right now, or mobile robots which you see in many even movies or films. So there is where your robots come into picture. So these are some of the ideal tasks wherein robots are used. So they are used in dangerous situations. So especially space exploration. So now you might have seen the Mars rover, which is a robot which is designed to navigate Mars. So there you can see it's a robot which is designed. So there you can use it for that purpose. So, and then again it is using for disarming bombs. Then it is used for boring and repetitive jobs like welding car frames, the manufacturing plants. Then the robots are also used in high precision areas wherein even surgery, robots are used. So as you know, surgery needs to be taken place or take place in with high precision. But robots are used for that purpose. In that scenario, they are called cobots, which help the doctors. So these are some of the common types of robots: mobile robot, stationary, autonomous, remote control robots, and virtual robots. So you'll be studying each about which, in case you choose the subject, you'll be studying in brief about all of these subjects. So robots. These are the top companies which are working in robotics. So you might have heard about ABB. So it's an international US based firm. Then Denso, KUKA, Fanuc, Yaskawa Electric, Omron, Universal Robots, Kawasaki, Mitsubishi, Epson. So you might have heard about Epson. So most of us believe it's a company which manufactures printers or projectors, but they too are even into robotics. ABB is a top company which is present in US based company, but has a center in Belgavi itself. KUKA as well as Fanuc also have a center in Belgavi. Fanuc, I have actually visited a center of Fanuc in Harvard. So we have seen a lot of equipment which was manufactured as part of this. Even in Belgavi also there is a center for Fanuc, and you can build a lot of various types of robots. So you can use these companies in robotics. So as you can see, a lot of top companies are using robotics. This is the small list of companies which are using robotics. So as you can see, which it was shown in the earlier slide, ABB, Fanuc, and KUKA are already present. Kawasaki, even electric vehicles, whenever they are being manufactured nowadays, they are being used. Robots are being used for that purpose. So if you see the Nvidia now, Nvidia is a company known for manufacturing processors or in computer domain or in supercomputers. But even they are into now robotics, so they are using this. So Mitsubishi Electric. So Mitsubishi Electric is the electric manufacturer company, but it is using robots for building the electric vehicles. So for EV purposes also robots are being used. So not just any particular branch, robotics is used for any branch, and all, it's an interdisciplinary approach wherein all different branches students have to come together and build a robot. Hence, it is applicable to all domains, and any student can choose it. Now, what are parts of the sub syllabus as such? So these are some of the course details, not in detail, but in the first unit, we'll be studying about basic information about robots, how they are built, what is the history, how it came into picture. Then you'll be studying about motor and actuators, so how they operate. Then the controller, so how you can do or what controlling is needed, how you can do. There are various controllers which you can design. Then the programming part, so which you can take care of, and in the at last you might be studying case studies and finally performing projects again depends on you what kind of projects you can categorize and do. Even the projects you can carry out in the company itself, or those could be in some of the institutes here which are available. Thank you.
Dear students, myself, Dr. Saurabh Mitra, Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication, KLS GIT. So here I am going to give you the introduction for open elective course for all branches. The name of the course is Modern Vehicular Technology. Course code given by EC department is 22EC645. Here I am going to talk to you about the introduction for this course. What is the outline? Prerequisite that you will require to take this course as open elective, skills and competencies that will get enhanced after undergoing this course, whatever industries this course will be applicable for job purpose, for internship purpose, that also will be discussed. Who are the industries that are offering job, that also I will discuss in this presentation. And finally, what job roles in the market are there for students who will be going through this course. These are the main topics that will be discussed in the course of coming 5 to 7 minutes. So we know that electric vehicle are the main substitute for the IC engine based vehicle now. IC engine based vehicles, they are causing a lot of problem from pollution point of view. So for green energy, for renewable energies and all these things, one very big solution is electric hybrid vehicle, and fuel cell based vehicle. So in the short run, in the coming 10 to 15 years, we will find that IC engine based vehicles will be substituted by these three, that is electric vehicle, hybrid electric vehicle, and fuel cell based vehicle. Where all we engineers we fit into it, you are finding towards the end of this presentation, that is major research areas. So major research areas are mainly that it will be optimization of IC engine based vehicle. That is the primary job that mechanical engineers and automotive engineers are doing. So what are the things to be optimized in IC engine based vehicle? We'll come to know about it in the initial part in the module 1 from the vehicular dynamics. We will see what all things have to be optimized in IC engine based vehicle. Then performance optimization of EV, EHV and FCV. FCV is the fuel cell based vehicle. How to increase the fuel economy, how to reduce the emission, how to optimize the cost. All those things we are going to check in this subject in due course. So how to design for traction motor, generator, how to hybridize the powertrain and drivetrain. All these things will be taught in this course in due time. Next we are going to see this is the syllabus for this vehicle. These are the topics. So unit 1 we are going to check the basic vehicular dynamics, propulsion and power transmission. In this there will be a comparison of IC engine based vehicle, electrical vehicle. There will be different manual and dual clutch transmission, auto transmission, manual transmission. What are the comparison between that? So mechanical students, automotive students, they will be finding this first module very interesting and easy for them. But with that we are going to check the different vehicle dynamics. In the second module we are going to see different types of energy sources like IC engine based vehicle, then batteries, then hydrogen, PM, fuel cell based vehicle, ultra capacitor, ultra high speed flywheel. And we are going to see the different propulsion systems like DC motor, induction motor, and mainly for EV we are using brushless DC motor. We are using SRM, that is switched reluctance motor. All this will be discussed in the module 2. Third module comprises regenerative braking as well as electric vehicle basic configuration. So performance of EV, tractive force, energy consumption graph, then drive cycles of HEV, PHEV, MHEV, all those things we are going to check in module number 3. Module number 4 will be mainly for hybrid vehicles. Here we are going to see series, parallel and hybrid electric vehicles. Fifth module is totally dedicated for fuel cell, hybrid electric vehicle drivetrain design and vehicular energy management. The courses from the ECE syllabus, so this is not for all actually, the courses from ECE syllabus which is mapping to this open elective course will be control systems, microelectronics, basics of vehicular technology, engineering mechanics, concept which you study in first year, sensors and signal conditioning, and engineering mathematics. So a little bit of mathematics will be there for modeling the related things. Otherwise this subject does not require any prerequisite. Anybody from any different branches, they can take up this course and we will get you through. Subjects for skill development, we will be having some Simulink, Simscape, MATLAB based models that we will be developing during this course. Then we will require embedded C, C++, Misra C, AutoSAR. You can use Dassault Simulia, Tata Elxsi, IoT, Hyundai, Blue Ink, Ashok Leyland, UKM. All these are basic courses and basic skills and subjects that will be related to this course. So some of these things you can learn in the future, and whenever you are learning these courses, this basic open elective course will help you to understand this. Then you will be finding many courses in Udemy and NPTEL which will be mapping to this course. Course learning objectives mainly to build basic concepts related to vehicle dynamics, to understand the basic concepts related to hybrid braking, regenerative braking, EV and HEV significance, to compare and contrast various energy sources like EV, HEV and FCEV, to analyze various design and control parameters of electric vehicle, hybrid electric vehicle and fuel cell based vehicle. What are the course outcomes? We will be able to explain EV, HEV, FCV for cleaner environment and for the lesser pollution. We will be able to identify the importance of various propulsion systems and drive mechanisms. We will be finding that BLDC and SRM are the most used propulsion systems or motors for this kind of application. We will be able to develop sound knowledge related to regenerative braking, hybrid propulsion, and at the end of the course we will be able to distinguish among the critical designing and control parameters of EV, HEV and FCV. These are the sectors which are going to cater to this engineers. So vehicle manufacturing, metal mining, oil gas, power sector, utilities, supply chain, auto parts, battery management, technology and management, database management, wireless IoT, AI ML robotics. All these are actually related to this electric hybrid vehicle course. These are the companies in India and abroad. You will be finding that Tata Motors, JBM, Electra, Mahindra, Ola, Ashok Leyland, Hyundai. All this will be the companies where you can get internship and future job. There are 5 main companies in USA, that is Honda, Ford, Tesla, Toyota and General Motors. And our GIT students, they are mainly being absorbed by 4 automotive companies, that is Mercedes, Bosch, Daimler Truck and Continental. These are the job roles in the market for the students who are taking up this course. So you can be the function developer for e-machine and transmission control, you can be the EV engineers, you can be the fault detection engineers, CMA intern, you can be the EPD testing engineer, system application engineer, R&D, product development. Then you can work as a data scientist in hybrid electric vehicle, because there are volumes of data which are being created continuously in this hybrid electric vehicle. Then you can work as a powertrain engineer, you can work as a e-mobility consultant, you can work as an engineer for embedded softwares, customer care, AMDM, electric vehicle, thermal management, that is totally mechanical engineer's job. Then you will be the assistant manager for BMS and battery designing, software engineer for electric hybrid vehicle, functionality testing engineer. So you are finding that there are job fields for students from every branch of engineering, that is CS, IS, mechanical, aerospace and all. Civil is little ignored, but nowadays whatever uh, power power supply or charging station we are developing continuously. So for developing those infrastructure for power supply and charging, civil engineers are being recruited heavily. Some more jobs, that is manager in the automotive field, AI engineers, design engineer, powertrain, team lead in digital manufacturing, plant cost analyst, senior technical lead, EPT testing, mobility consultant and all. Finally, I'd like to tell you that last year around 79 students they had taken up this course from some around 50.
Dear students, this is a subject Cyber Shield Hands-on Cyber Security Practices. This is a project-based learning course wherein the projects will be given based on the cyber security concepts, whose theoretical concepts will be covered in the theory part with basic understanding. That is, for 20 hours there will be some theory related to as follows. Unit 1 talks about cybersecurity fundamentals, what is a cybersecurity system, and what are the three pillars of infrastructure, information security architecture, and so on. And then second unit talks about network security threats and the countermeasures, wherein we are talking about network security, what is it, application security, what are the vulnerabilities, what is mobile security, how to manage the mobile device, and so on. Unit 3 talks about firewalls. What is a firewall? What are its benefits? What is a client server model? What is DNS? What is SSL? In short, what is SS? That is how specific packets will be moving in the network traffic, how the specific packets will be moving in the network traffic, how the packets can be spoofed, how the packets can be hijacked, what is Wireshark, that is a tool to analyze the network traffic. And here we are talking in short about Nmap tool. Unit 4 talks about cryptography, that is the secret coding, how the cryptography techniques are evolving, how they are important towards the digital security, what is digital signature, what is cryptographic attack, what are the different types, and what are the countermeasures to handle these attacks. Unit 5 talks about web server application security, that is about a three-tier architecture of web security, and then web applications, what is HTTP, what is HTTPS, how to configure our Chrome to work with Barb Suite. Barb Suite is a tool to talk about application security. Then how to code securely using the techniques and tools like OWASP and so on. So these are 5 units which are covered in 4 hours in short, and the approach will be light, that is up to the understanding level. Then to apply these concepts what we have learned, there are a list of set experiments, that is 10 experiments, 2 from each unit. In these experiments we are going through how to set up a virtual lab environment, how to work with Kali Linux, what is network security protocol, how to test it, how to go for a basic penetration testing, then conduction of network scanning and host recovery discovery with Nmap tool, then data encryption and decryption using cryptool, then what is email communication security, how to work with it, Then fifth experiment talks about creating strong passwords and managing them, and then testing the password strength and what are the countermeasures. So these are the 10 experiments which we are doing in the lab to focus on hands-on practices. Then there are some self-study topics like what is Google data center, what is a green data center, what is internet control message protocol, that is ICMP, then hash cryptography, then web application vulnerability scanning tools. Anyone you can study on your own. Then we have certain textbooks, a few NPTEL courses to uh, explore these concepts, what will be studied in theory. Those will be given based on the availability of the course during your semester. Then we have a project wherein you are developing a small project related to these topics which you are studying in the course. So the split up of the marks will be theory for 40 marks, that is one IA test and one lab test, wherein you will be doing one experiment which we have conducted in the regular lab. Slightly apart from that will be given as an open-ended experiment and you will be tested for that. One IA for 1 hour wherein you will be tested for your theoretical understanding. Then the second part comes as project, which will be evaluated for 60 marks, in which there are two phases, phase 1, phase 2. Phase 1 is your conceptualization, phase 2 is your implementation method, and final project will be taken in the SW, that is Viva in the SW. So the mark split up will be theory IA will be written for 25 marks, the lab test will be taken for 15 marks, then project phase 1, that is conceptualization and finalization, takes 25 marks. Project phase 2, that is implementation methodology and your outcome, takes 25 marks. And project report writing takes 10 marks. So totally you will be assessed for 100 marks. The eligibility for this will be 40% and above, that is 16 marks in the theory component, 24 marks in the project component. Okay. Then the lab open-ended, that is the experiment will be assessed for 50 marks, wherein you will be given an open-ended statement which will be related to these 10 experiments what you have done. In that, a write-up and execution will be 20 marks and 20 marks for your algorithm or flowchart, that is implementation strategy, and 10 marks for your execution. Then the project evaluation will be for another 50 marks, wherein you will be writing the initial part regarding the objectives, methodology, and the outcome, and you are demonstrating us the outcome of your project, and finally a Viva was related to your project. So minimum marks required for this will be greater than 35%, but overall score for CIE plus SW should be greater than or equal to 40%. And SW will be conducted with an external examiner along with the internal examiner and in batches of the 4 students who have done the project together. So this is about the course wherein you will be learning a little bit about the hands-on experience about cyber security practices, a few tools you are using and a small project you are building, and you will be assessed for the theory, lab and project. So that's all about this particular subject. If you have any queries, you can reach out at vrpandurangi@git.edu, or you can just drop a mail to, we can address your queries. Thank you students for listening.
Electrical engineering and information science engineering students can now opt for this particular subject. Now, what is the role of Viva in this particular course? So, first we will see what about the Viva Labs. So, Viva Labs is a leading software solution company based in Belgium, and they are specialized in device drivers, embedded systems, and tools for automation. So their role in this course is they are going to conduct specialized sessions on certain topics, and they are going to provide expert guidance for assignment and projects. And in some courses, they are going to clear doubts and they are going to mentor students throughout the course. Now, what is the unique about this particular course? So you can see, as you can see here, why this course is unique. So there is a performance based opportunity here for the students. So Viva Labs will evaluate the student performance, and exceptional students so may be offered internship and placements. So the student performing exceptionally good
So they will be offered the internship and placement opportunity at the Viable Labs. So what is the course structure? So as you can see here, the course structure is of 40 contact hours, and the unit covered here are the Linux environment and C basics, memory management and data interpretation, debugging and functions, processors, preprocessors, bitwise operations, and user-defined data types, advanced C concepts, and multi-file programming. Now coming to the learning outcomes. So at the end of the course, so you'll be able to write optimized C programs adhering to the industry coding standards, then debug effectively using tools like GDB, understand memory management and binary conversations, and work on advanced C topics such as multi-file programming. Now coming to the practical assignments, so this includes hands-on activities like executing C programs on Linux platform, debugging real-time errors, and implementing complex programs using pointers, arrays, and preprocessor directives. So what are the assessment method here? So you can see here the how you will be evaluated is, so there will be a assignment, practical coding problems for every unit. Then there are quizzes, a regular test on Linux commands, then the Vim this thing environment and the C basic. So there will be quizzes on this. Then there is a project work. So applying the course concept to solve the real world problems, and there will be a performance review by Viable Labs during their sessions. Now why you should enroll to this particular course? So as you can see, so by taking this course you'll be industry ready. So this course is offered to make you industry ready. So you can see practical knowledge that aligns with job roles, then networking opportunities, direct interaction with the expert at the Viable Labs, and the career growth. You can see the potential internships and placements based on your performance. Now coming to the CIE pattern, so as you can see here in this particular format, so this particular CIE is divided into theory and project. So theory is of 40 marks and the project is for 60 marks. So for theory, you can see here there will be one IA of 25 marks, and there is one lab IA which will carry 15 marks, and the project 60 marks. They are divided into two phases. So project phase 1, which will be conducted for 25 marks. There will be a project phase 2 again, which will be conducted for 25 marks, and at the end you need to submit a project report for 10 marks. So this total comes to 100 marks CIE. Then coming to the SEE, that is the semester end examination. So the SEE examination will be conducted for 100 marks of 3 hours duration. So out of that, there will be 50 marks assigned for open-ended lab problem or experiment. So you'll be given one open-ended problem definition. For that, you'll be writing a program and executing in the lab, and the remaining 50 marks, they are kept for the project evaluation. So whatever project you're done throughout the course, that will be evaluated, and for that project again the 50 marks will be evaluated. So total this is 100 marks SEE. So there is no here theory SEE here. So this is mainly the project based and the practical evaluation method. So with this we have come to an end. So any question you can just post it to me, so I'll try to clarify the questions. Thank you.
Good morning, dear friends. Myself, Dr. Anupama Kallor from Mechanical Engineering Department. Today, I am going to give the introduction of Industrial Engineering and Productivity Management program, that is course. The course code is 22ME643. As you can see in the syllabus, it is 300 credits, and total credits are 3, CIE 100 marks, SEE 100 marks. The course learning objectives of this subject are, you will have to understand or to introduce you all to the concept of productivity and its improvement techniques, and to provide the fundamental understanding of the work study and method study, which are the tools which are going to enhance or improve the productivity of any industry. Productivity or to fundamental understanding of the micromotion study and time study, and to impart the knowledge of application of work measurement techniques. So as all of you know, every industry is striving for improving the productivity of their organization. Before that, we need to learn what is productivity or what do you mean by productivity of the organization. Productivity is output by input. As you find out the efficiency of the machine, it is referred to the system or the process. Output by input, output is nothing but the number of products manufactured or service rendered to the customer divided by the resources that are available or resources that are employed to get the output. This is what is productivity. You cannot improve the productivity of any organization by only improving the service rendered or by improving the number of products or increasing the number of products. You will have to focus on, instead of focusing on the numerator, you will have to focus on the denominator, that is the resources. So what are the resources then? Resources are usually in the organization, we identify 4 important resources, or any, not only in the organization, anywhere in the world. We are supposed to recognize or identify 4 resources mainly. One is man, machine, money, and materials. So all these are the important resources that are utilized in any industry, whether it is service industry or manufacturing industry. So focus on industry, instead of focusing on the number of products or anything, you will have to focus on the resources, how we are utilizing or how we are effectively using or efficiently using the resources without the wastage of any of these resources. That you are going to learn in productivity management. First of all of you understand this is totally common subject. Common in the sense, every industry, whether it is a software industry, whether it is a manufacturing industry, whether it's a mechanical industry, whether it is a hospital, whether it is a transportation office, or whether it is bank, anything you can take, this productivity will come into picture. And this industrial engineering is a big umbrella wherein you can accommodate all these industries. So, and every industry is striving for productivity improvement. That's why we have made the syllabus as industrial engineering and productivity management. Then industrial engineering, how industrial engineering is related to productivity management. First of all, in unit 1, you are going to learn about the productivity. As I mentioned, what is productivity, the task of management, and then material, all that measure how you are measuring the productivity, factors that are affecting productivity, and all those things, or human factor, the important factor. 2 factors we are identifying in industry, any industry. Again, physical physical resources, or resources we can say, physical resources and human resource. So both are very, very important. Unless we focus on both, or we can say human resource is equally important, which is utilizing the physical resource which are available to us. So that you are learning in unit 1. Unit 2, you are going to learn work study. Work study is nothing but it's a tool, it's a technique which we are using to improve the productivity. That's why the work study plays an important role in improving the productivity. Then we'll have to understand what is work study then. Study of work, simple in simple word or whatever the sentence, study of work. So what is study of work then? Study of work is nothing but how we are going to do the work is very, very important. What method we are following to minimize the wastage of anything, whether it is time, energy, human resource, the labor, or the material, or the energy, or the machine, whatever it is, how effectively we are using or how we are reducing the wastage, that we are understanding, or by using this work study technique we are learning that. So in the second unit, you are going to learn the objective and human factor in work study and the management, how they are related, and then numerical or calculation of wages and incentives. Wages and incentives are also being calculated not only by understanding the method, by the work study. Again, work study consists of two aspects. One is method study and one is work measurement. Method study will improve the method of doing the job, and at the same time we are going to establish, or we are going to find out, determine the time required to complete that productive job, so which is done by work measurement or time study. Both are under work study. So here, by using that time study, we are going to decide, or we are going to determine the wages and the incentives, and also we are understanding the job analysis, job evaluation, rotation, description in unit 2. And unit 3, the same, the method study in detail you are going to learn in unit 3, that is objective, scope, and what are the different steps, or 6 steps we identify in method study. One is selection, recording, critical examination, develop the best method, and the install and maintain the new method of doing the job, which is totally productive at that point of time. That you are going to learn, and various charts, diagrams you are going to learn, which are even today they are very, very popular in every industry, where we can do the flow process chart or flow diagram. We can use two-handed process chart if it is assembly type of operation, string diagram, table chart. All these charts are, every industry, almost all industries are using these charts even today. Okay, that this is very, very important subject for mechanical, also for the software industries also, or maybe any industry. Okay, you can apply these techniques, and you can improve the productivity of the organization. Then comes the micro motion analysis, which is part of method study. So here we are going to focus on micro movements. The method study, we are going to measure, or we are going to assess the macro motions. Macro motion is the thing, but the movement, that movement can be divided into small micro movements in micro motion study, and some of the movements can be avoided, can be reduced, so that the total effective time required, or total effective labor or wastage of any type of resources can be minimized. That is micro motion study. In that you are going to learn SIMO chart, that is simultaneous motion operation chart, and then that all the installation development of method study as well as micro motion study you are going to learn in unit 4. Then unit 5, this is work measurement. That is the second part of it. Once you have developed the best method, then you are going to measure the time required to complete that job, which is productive, which is already we have developed that by conducting method study. So there you are going to learn definition, benefits, and various techniques. In that, the important technique is stopwatch time study, again wherein you are going to learn about how to select the job for stopwatch study, how to break the job into small elements, recording and rating, and then rating performance, factors affecting the performance rating of the worker, allowances, so how much allowances are to be provided to the workers. Okay, so that the additional time for his to attend his personal needs and all those things, how to determine the standard time, that you are going to learn, and some numericals are also involved in that. And work sampling is another technique. So in this technique you are going to learn how much time the worker is idle during the day, or how much time he is working productive, he is involved himself in productive work. So this is about the 5th unit. So this is the introduction of industrial engineering and productivity management, and it's a, you can apply, that's what I mentioned in the beginning. It is applied to any type of industry, or even you can apply it to your home household work, or individually you can apply yourself, so that you can improve the efficiency of yourself. This is the interesting part of this subject. I think you have understood that, and self-study topics are also there, which you may, and it is almost 90% theoretical, and 10% numericals are added in this, 10 to 15. person. Books, textbooks and all reference books are mentioned in your syllabus already. No need to explain that. And it is the allocation of marks are 30 plus 30 60 and 10 plus 10 20 two assignments, and course seminar and course project and seminars will be there. You can conduct the projects also if at all you are interested. Then small projects you can conduct in industries also. And this is about the subject industrial engineering and productivity management. If you have any queries or anything, you can come to me. As I mentioned, I am Professor Anupama Kallod, professor in mechanical engineering department. I will be there in industrial engineering lab in first floor of B block of GIT. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to all of you. I am here to present a demo. Present about the Internet of Things 22 IS 52, an open elective provided from the ISC department, Information Science and Engineering department. As you can see, the syllabus is displayed. It is the title is Internet of Things, a practical approach, and the course code is 22 IS 52. Okay, so it is having 302, and as you can see, the learning objectives are to design the embedded system. Embedded system means it is a little bit it is more of a electronic subject, but the computer system is nothing but it is having the electronics parts in it, motherboard and all other cards and all that. They are electronics parts only. Only more focus is given on the logic and the programming, but supporting subjects have to be there. So in that particular objective, to design the embedded system using microcontroller and peripheral circuit. Microcontroller, I am using, knowing it is a successor of the microprocessor, which is an intelligent device. It is an integrated circuit which can do logical operations, mathematical operations, controlling, synchronization, all the functionality a common computer needs to have. And peripheral circuits is nothing but associated circuit, like for example mouse, joystick, printer, scanner. So these peripheral circuits or devices have to be there associated with the computer. So the objective is to design the embedded system which is a microcontroller oriented. The second objective is to demonstrate the technique of interfacing sensors. Here comes the IoT. The microcontroller is at the back end of the IoT. Okay, it is in the background, but it is the power of the IoT actually. So the other components of IoT device are sensors and actuators. Sensor means, for example, if I explain with an example, it will be more better and understandable. So what I can say, sensor is the best and big example is the temperature sensor. As you know it very well, nature is having some parameters, so many parameters. For example, sunshine is there, which is responsible for the temperature, so that we can measure. Water is there, natural resource. The humidity sensor we can have. Then what you can say, pressure is there. Pressure, as you go up and up the surface of the earth, the temperature varies. If you go inside the earth, that is underground, the pressure varies. If you go inside the ocean, the pressure varies. So the pressure sensor, pressure is a natural parameter and it is going to be sensitive. Similarly, we can sense magnetic strength, so that those sensors are also there. So these kind of things which sense the parameters like temperature, humidity, and all other parameters are known as sensors. And the actuators, and for to remind you, we have 5 sensory organs: touch senses, okay, the taste, okay, so these light sensors are there. Okay, actuators are the one which are at the output of the IoT system, which execute based on the sensed parameters. Say for example, the temperature increased above some value, say for example 40 degrees centigrade, the fan should be on. So fan is made on by a relay, electromechanical relay, which can be called as an actuator. At the output end of the IoT system, whatever the things are there, they are the actuators. So these are used along with the IoT development board. IoT development board, when it comes, okay, so the IoT development board is nothing but with the example I shall tell you: Arduino Uno, Arduino Mega, Arduino Nano, Arduino Mini. Okay, this is the Arduino family. If you go for another little bit higher end, Raspberry family. It is a Pi family actually. Raspberry Pi, Banana Pi, Orange Pi. These are nearly SBCs. SBCs in the sense single board computer. Complete a computer can be designed using the Raspberry Pi or any Pi family member. So these are known as IoT development boards. So these we are using to have interface with the sensors and actuator to have an intelligent controlling system using IoT. Okay, next we are having 5 units. You can see embedded computing first, as because provides the fundamental and basic structure of an IoT. The next one is introduction to the Internet of Things, which is having protocols, communication models, etc. The next one is prototyping IoT. IoT design is being done using some sensors, hardware, and some software. Okay, and the next is in the same unit we are going to have some examples like a home automation, smart cities, smart environment, energy, retail, logistic, and all that. Okay, the next fourth unit is uh, uh, IoT architecture and protocols. There again we are going to have some specific protocols designed especially for IoT, because I'm going to tell you next anyway. Then the fifth unit is some case studies where we are having some detailed case studies of some examples like smart home, smart office, medicines, sports, transportation, agricultural, and other things. Okay, let me tell you one by one, one minute for one each unit. Okay, embedded computing, as you know it very well, it is having microprocessor and microcontroller, how they work in a brief manner. So then we are going to study about the complex system and microprocessor. Complex system, let me tell you, if you want to have sophisticated, bicycle is a simple system, doesn't give any comfort. But if you have a car, high-end car, it is a very complex system and facilities are more. So complexity gives more pleasure, more facilities. So for to address the complexity, some intelligent devices like microprocessor is necessary. That is why complex systems are studied and designed with the microprocessor. Then we come to the embedded system design process. For example, microwave oven, smart television, or smart watches, smart telephones, so like that. So for that we are using an ARM processor as an example. Okay, the second unit is introduction to the Internet of Things, where we are studying the definition and characteristic of IoT, the definition of things, and we are going to study some physical design of IoT. For example, using what you can say, smart braking system, smart ABS, anti-lock braking system we are studying under this particular title. Then IoT protocols we are studying, IEEE standard. Then communication models we are having, for example client server, then master slave. So many communication models are there. The communication API is there, application programmable interface, that is nothing but the API that we are going to use. Okay, the next one is communication protocols also we are going to study, and some embedded system and IoT levels and templates we are going to study. The next one is excuse me, prototype. We are going to have some IoT key features, advantages and disadvantages, IoT hardware, IoT software. These are some in-depth study of which are going to help us in prototyping a IoT system. Then applications, as I said, we are going to study some home automation system. For example, smart lighting, smart refrigeration, smart geyser, and all that. And smart cities also we are going to have, where Wi-Fi is available and any security and protection systems will be there in the smart city. Environment, environment nothing but weather, then pollution control, etc. Energy, retail, logistic, agricultural, industry, health and lifestyle. The fourth unit is having IoT architecture and protocols, where some reference models. Say if you are a designer of IoT, okay, so what reference model you will use on the basis of application, what kind of model you are going to choose, they are going to be studied here. And we are having some specific protocols, like for example 6LoWPAN, low power area network, RPL, it is also a protocol, COAP and MQTT. These are scaled down version or specially designed IoT protocols so that low power is consumed and low energy is being used, because these all systems are using battery. These are battery operated devices, so energy consumed or power consumed should be very less. Next, fifth unit, we are going to have some open-ended things like smart home. The students will be able to have some case study using Google and all other internet materials. They are going to generate a small report and give a small seminar on the particular topic under the title of smart home, smart office, medicines, sports, transportation, agricultural IoT and architecture. So these are the big domains where IoT finds its own application. That's all from our end to provide you the open elective for other branch students. Thank you and have a nice day.
Good afternoon, friends. This is Dr. R.S. Patil. Today I am here to give a brief orientation session on the open elective subject called as Robotic Process Automation, which is offered from Computer Science Department to all the non-IT branches. This entire subject is about designing software boards to automate the processes. For example, look at this. Robotic process automation is use of software boards or designing a software boards to automate repetitive rule-based tasks that are usually performed by the humans. Taking a simple example, if a number of students want to fill the CET applications, okay, the basic information what student has to enter with respect to name, gender, father name, mother name, date of birth, Aadhaar number, mail ID, phone number, all these basic information they'll ask. So if every human is going to enter all this data, it is going to take a lot of time. So instead of human are going to enter all this information, we can keep all such information of n students in one of the Excel file, and we can generate a software bot using RPA, so that the bot itself will automatically fills all n student information into the given software. So this is one example what I can give for RPA. Similarly, you can do the n number of things where the humans will do a repetitive task that can be automated. So this is completely designing a software bots. So the benefits are going to be increased efficiency, improved accuracy, cost saving, and enhanced scalability. And this particular subject we have introduced in CS department by having an alliance with UiPath. Completely UiPath syllabus is there in our CS curriculum, and which enables organizations to automate a repetitive rule-based task through software bots. It simplifies automation by providing a user-friendly environment for both the developers and non-developers, which is founded in the year 2005 and headquartered in New York. UiPath has grown to become one of the most popular RPA tools globally. Apart from that, there are other RPA tools also there. But as per our curriculum, we have introduced the syllabus from UiPath. Key features of RPA with UiPath. So as I told you, it is going to be very user friendly, where it involves a drag and drop functionality. Means, as I told you earlier, much of the coding knowledge is not required over here. Okay, if you have a basic a little bit knowledge of programming, yes, you can design a software bots, and the studio is designed in such a way that most of the options are in the form of drag and drop, so that you can have a flowchart like a structure and you can create the software bots. Scalability and integration, and you can go ahead with some AI and machine learning approaches, so that you can do some documentation understanding and natural language processing examples or the experimentation, and which is very secure and compliance. Means secure credential management is there, as well as auditing capability is given in the software itself. Error handling means most of the errors it is going to handle, and immediately it will report to the user what are the different types of errors you will get and how to do those exception management. Coming back to the entire syllabus revision, in the first unit, the brief recap of basic programming concepts are going to be covered. A web concept, protocols, and software processes and algorithms. So this is not exactly a part of RPA, but the things what you studied in your previous semesters with respect to the programming language, that overall recap will be given in the first unit. And the second unit, yes, the entire RPA basics will be given. The history part, how exactly RPA and automation started, what are the different methodology, what is the architecture, and what is how exactly the RPA ecosystem is going to exist in place. Everything is going to be discussed in the unit 2. Then unit 3 covers entire thing about UiPath Studio. Means how exactly you need to install this studio part, how the panels are there, what are the features, sequences, flow charts, and how exactly flow activities, what are the different possible options are there, how to connect one activity to another activity, how to take the different activity, whether it is Excel, PowerPoint, or Word, how to do the mail activity. All those things will be demonstrated in the unit 3. Coming back to unit 4, it is going to be recording in UiPath. Means whenever you generate the bot, then how to record it, how to do the data extraction, means how exactly you are going to extract the data from the Excel or some other files, how to keep the selector field from the Excel and PDF automation. Those things will be discussed in the unit 4. Then unit 5 is going to be entirely dedicated for email automation and exception handling. Means how to get the email attachment from different mails. So that will be dealt in the unit 5, and how to handle the different types of errors and how to write the exception handling. Everything is going to be covered in the 5 units. Means from starting from unit 1 to unit 5, it is completely about designing software bots by using different features which are there in the syllabus. Then coming back to different roles which are available in industry after completion of this particular course. Software RPA developer, RPA business analyst, RPA solution architect, RPA consultant, and RPA administrator. So these are the different roles and responsibilities what you may get in industry once you have a course on RPA. Then what are the different salary ranges? I don't want to go through the entire details about all the packages. I mean, these are not uh, the fixed one. The salary may range from year to year on the person to person, but these are the sample examples which we have mentioned in the syllabus. I mean, in the for the different roles once you complete the RPA. Okay, so as I told you, this particular subject is going to be taken by Professor Vidyajesh Pandurangi. Today, as he is on a leave, so I dealt with the orientation session. So I hope most of the students, those who are interested in automation, you can join this particular course and have a fun in this particular subject. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Rahul Suryavanshi and I'm going to give you a presentation on the open elective subject, that is fuzzy logic. So when we're talking about the subject fuzzy logic, first of all we need to know what is the fuzzy logic. So basically fuzzy logic is a subject which deals on developing a logic for solving a problem. The problems might have ambiguity in it, uncertainty in it. So for such kind of complex problems, we usually go ahead with fuzzy logic, wherein we are finding the degree of truth in that thing. So when we are talking about a system, it can be, for example, when we can say that a system, let us take that it is cold or not cold. So when we are talking about in a classical system, what happens is, you can see here, when we say is it cold, it will say either yes or no in a classical system. So 1 means it is cold, 0 means it is not cold. But practically speaking, when we are talking about an actual system, there cannot be bifurcation that only cold or not cold. So there might be intermediate stage such as very much cold, little cold, slightly cold, moderately cold. So these are the linguistic variables which we are using to define a system. So when we are talking about a classical system deals only between 0 or 1. So either yes or no. For example, we can take one more part, that is tall and not tall. Suppose that there is a height constraint wherein we are talking about the people classifying the peoples in the age group or in the category of tall and not tall. And if you say that anybody above 6 feet is a tall, so the problem is that when we put a data, let us say that 5'11" and a half. So if a person is 5 feet 11 and a half inch, then he will be categorized as a not tall person. So what we need to do is we have to go with a system which has some intermediate values. So there fuzzy logic comes into picture. Now when we're talking about fuzzy logic deals with the intermediate values, that is ranging between 0 to 1. So instead of having only 0 or 1, we will be having intermediate values, that is 0 to 1. So that is what we call it as a degree of truth. So in this case we can see here, is it cold? So it might be very much cold, little cold, or very cold. So in the other example what we have taken, height. So if we are talking about a person who is above 6 feet height, we will say that he is a tall person. But 5'11", we can say that he is slightly tall, moderately tall. Then if he is around 5'10", we can say slightly tall. So there is a degree of truth in everything. So in order to have a system wherein we need to find out the results for a complex system, we are using fuzzy logic. Now when we compare a traditional logic and fuzzy logic, we can see here that either the system is true or false. But in case of fuzzy logic, it can be 70% true and 30% false, or else 10% true, 90% false. So there is a degree of truth in everything. It can be 0% truth also. So in this subject we are going to learn regarding what exactly uh, we are going to deal with complex problems wherein there are no mathematical solution, mathematical formulas to get the results, but still we want to get the results. That time we are going to use fuzzy logic. Now where fuzzy logic is used? So fuzzy logic is used in various applications, such as various industries such as aerospace industry, electronic industry, electrical industries, automotive, management sector, chemical industry, artificial industry. So any system or any industry wherein there is a complex problem that needs to be solved without which does not have any empirical formula to be solved, in that case we go ahead with fuzzy logic. So for example, when we are talking about an aerospace industry, if we want to have a altitude control of a spacecraft or a satellite, for example, in aerospace industry it can be used for landing control. So depending upon the height and velocity of the vehicle, what should be the tilt angle for the blades, so that the flight can be landed appropriately on a particular location on a runway. That can be calculated using fuzzy logic. Then for dishwashers it can be used, or for washing machine designing, so it can be used. Then electrical industries wherein optimal operation of a switchgear or controlling the power on the grid, we can use fuzzy logic. Then in case of an automotive industry, so in automotive industry we can go ahead for let us say speed controlling, then vehicle detection, human detection, automatic braking system. So we can use fuzzy logic in that part. Apart from this technical domain, we can also use it into the management sectors, for making supporting decisions, for supporting the making, for making decisions in the support systems, for personal evaluations in large company businesses. Then it can be used in chemical industry for controlling the pH, drying, chemical distillation processes, etc. And nowadays it is also used in artificial intelligence such as NLPs for natural language processing, and very intense applications it can be used. So one basic example we can see here, that object detection. So fuzzy logic can be used as an object detection, and wherein in order to stop, the automatic braking systems can be used. So depending upon the distance of the vehicle, so between the two vehicles, whatever is the distance, depending upon that, how much amount of brake has to be applied. So that decisions can be, such kind of decisions can be taken using fuzzy logic. So this is this fuzzy logic is nowadays also used uh, in ADAS for an autonomous driving vehicle. It has been used. So there is a large amount of there is a very big sector wherein fuzzy logic can be used. We can also see that here ABB is actually using it in optimizing the cement industry. Then Samsung is using it into their washing machine. LG is using it in the washing machine. So whatever the controllers are being designed for that, the logic behind them for clean, for example, when you're talking about a washing machine, to have a clean clothes, the logic what is being developed for how much time it should run, how much should be the forward cycle, how much should be the reverse cycle, what is the quantity of water, what is the quantity of detergent that has to be taken. So it all these decisions can be taken using fuzzy logic, and the result will be the clean clothes. Then when we are talking about the opportunities, we can see that as this is a part of an artificial intelligence part, there is a large amount of opening in data engineering. Then we can see that around, if we just type fuzzy logic in job sectors, we can see there are a lot many jobs which are available. Then we can see that in majority of the applications in the JDs, we can see that they are asking for fuzzy logic as one of the tool. Neural networks they can be asking. So apart from this, it is used in various sectors such as in pattern recognition. So Tata Steel is actually using fuzzy logic in pattern recognition and deformations, and to find the deformation. Suppose there are some deformations while manufacturing any of the parts. So this can be used using an visual camera and integrating it with the fuzzy logic. We can detect the faults and all those things, and many of the R&D sections wherein research has been done in order to get the optimum results, fuzzy logic is been used. So you can see that there are a lot many journals and publications which has been done on fuzzy logic. So to conclude with the entire setup, what we can say is fuzzy logic in this subject we are not going to learn any kind of coding, but rather we are going to learn how a logic needs to be developed for this coding part. This is a mathematical subject wherein the base required is a set theory, and a logical subject what we can say wherein we need to develop a logic for an application. Okay. So if you are so thank you everyone.
So good afternoon, students. I'm here, Professor Vinay Shetty from Electrical Department, in order to give you a brief introduction about the PLC and Industrial Automation subject, which I will be handling the course code. Okay. Here the course learning objectives are like to demonstrate and understand the basics of PLC, the architecture of PLC, hardware and input-output devices. Also, here we'll be learning and understanding the ladder programming, logic functions, latching, multiple outputs, functional block diagrams, and how exactly to incorporate the emergency switches in the system. Also, to demonstrate and understand how exactly instruction list has to be written in aligned with the ladder logic which we draw, then the sequential functional charts and the structural texts. Also, we will learn here how to write the ladder programming, how to draw a run, how to draw the logic for a particular process, and how to implement the control relay. Basically, we will be focusing on delta programming for a delta PLC. Also, we will be understanding the different type of timers, counters, and other associated components which is aligned to the PLC. Okay. The basic prerequisites for this is the basics of electrical and electronics engineering, the logic gate, the relay technology which will be used. So here we have 5 units which will be comprising of, basically in the first unit we'll go through the introduction of PLC, then what are the advantages and drawbacks of PLC, then we will study about the hardware of the PLC, the internal architecture of the PLC so that we can understand it in a better way, then the type of connection of the PLC, like whether we are going to connect it in sourcing or syncing logic, and accordingly which type of sensors are to be selected for sourcing or syncing. Then we will be studying about the characteristics of IO devices. Here IO stands for input output devices. We will study about what are the associated inputs and outputs to be connected for the PLC. Also we will see set of examples and try to program them. Okay. Also we will be going ahead with IO processing, which is pretty much important when we process the data and send it to the PLC, because the noise contents whatever is there, it may malfunction the operation of the PLC, which is not tolerable in the process industries. We also will study about how exactly the signal has been conditioned when it has been received from the field devices. Then what are the types of remote connections available for connecting a PLC. Then what are the networks and the processing inputs of IO devices. The unit 2 will be having a programming, basically the ladder logic and the instruction list we will be studying here. Okay.
So we'll be studying about a few functionalities like logic functions, like Boolean expressions, what we have studied in digital electronics. Then we have a few examples of latching. Then we deal with the multiple outputs, how it is to be combined to the PLC. Then how the program is to be entered into the PLC and dumped into the PLC. Then how to run the PLC, what are the functional blocks available in order to do a certain programming. Then the programming examples will be taking up like a location of start and stop switches for a safe and unsafe PLC system. The unit 3 we have programming language again, wherein again we will study about study in detail about the instruction list. Then the different sequential functional charts associated to different operation functionalities. Then the structured text and jump and subcall routines. Unit 4 will be dealing with the internal relays which are there in the PLC. So we'll study about the internal relay, the ladder programming which is associated to the internal relay. We'll study about the battery backed relay and what is its importance. We'll also study about the one-shot operation, set and reset of the particular components in the PLC, and the meaning of a master control relay and how the master control relay is to be programmed. Okay. Coming to the unit 5, we have timers and counters, which are the basic blocks of the PLC, which are basically used in control of operations of a particular processes. So we have different type of timers associated in PLC. Then we have programming timers, then we have on-off delay timers, pulse timers, etc. In counters we have up counter and down counters, and also we have a sequencer which takes place and incorporated in a particular industry in order to sequence the operation. Okay. So what are the benefits of learning this is like as we know, industry is entirely automated. So the PLCs are the a brain for the industry which takes care. It is a supervisory system. It takes care of the entire system process, wherein it acquires the data, it processes the data, and it takes a particular decision depending upon the process. So after learning this subject, you will be able to program any complex programs which is required for a process industry, and also to control any kind of operation which is also required for a process industry. So the jobs are too many, like you can land up into multiple functionalities like automation engineer or a programming engineer for a particular company, right? So here there are basic levels also, like what all things you are going to learn, right? So this is what is all about PLC and industrial automation. So in case of any queries, please feel free to contact me. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Good morning, dear students. This is Architect Siddharth Jadhav from Department of Architecture, and the elective that we will be offering is Sustainable Architecture, bearing code 21 INT 63. I, along with Professor Neha Pandit, will be taking this subject for you. Sustainable architecture is dealing about what sustainability can be through materials and as well as the construction techniques we are using. To begin with, I would like to share you a small presentation, small video to understand what actually sustainable is.
Sustainable development. Everybody's talking about it. But what do those two words really mean? Let's take a couple of minutes to see what sustainable development is all about. The idea first emerged in the late 1980s as a response to the world's growing social and environmental problems. With globalization, the inequality gap between rich and poor countries is widening every day, and the projections for population growth are alarming. How are we going to feed a total of 9 billion people in 2050? How can we offer everyone access to clean drinking water, healthcare, education? How can we protect biodiversity and take concrete action against climate change? How can we make sure that industrial development means progress for everyone? The proposed solution was a new kind of development, or rather a variation of the traditional model called, quite simply, sustainable development. The term was officially defined in 1987 as part of the preparations for the Rio Earth Summit. Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Does that sound a little abstract to you? Let's put it this way. Sustainable development means that growth must be accomplished with respect for nature and humankind. And where is sustainability achieved? Right here, at the crossroads of economic goals, social responsibility, and environmental protection. Now, are you wondering whether a company can combine respect for the environment, social equity, and commercial success? Well, the answer is yes. Not only that, but sustainable development creates value. Here's how. Upgrading production tools to use less energy and water is good for the environment and for the pocketbook. Offering eco-designed products and packaging that use just what's necessary saves materials and reduces shipping costs. Paying attention to employees, improving their quality of life at work, and helping them develop their skills all serve to strengthen their engagement. And stronger employee engagement means better overall performance. Creating products that are accessible to the world's poorest populations means opening new markets, the ones whose populations are going to grow the fastest between now and 2050. Monitoring the working conditions offered by suppliers and subcontractors means minimizing risks that could damage the company's image. As you can see, sustainable development affects just about everything. More and more companies today understand that they have important economic, social, and environmental responsibilities and are committed to making a difference. The ones that seize this opportunity to create value will find that their success is, in a word, sustainable.
So good morning students, I am Professor Neha Pandit. So we just saw a quick video of what sustainability means. We will be also looking at what sustainable designs are. So if you have to give an example of what sustainable designs are, then the entire process of procuring the materials till where it is being transported and the entire lifespan of the building with what kind of mechanisms it will be using throughout the lifespan of the building is basically the sustainable design. So as per the definitions, sustainability is the practice of using resources in a way that meets the needs of the present without harming the environment or future generations. It's about creating conditions that allow humans and nature to coexist in a productive way. And what does sustainable design stand for? It is a design strategy that considers the environmental, social, and economic impacts of products and the services throughout their lifespan. The goal is to reduce negative impact on the environment and people's health. So we are being hearing in the news about globalization, about climate change. So we as civil engineers or we as architects, what is our contribution towards the society and towards a better sustainable living? We will be covering those aspects in this elective. So how does sustainable design work? So we have the 3 R's basic. This is the basic principle to be followed for sustainable design: reduce, reuse, and recycle. So reduce waste. Sustainable design reduces the amount of waste created by products and services. Reuse and recycle. Sustainable design encourages the reuse and recycling of products and materials. So use of renewable energy. Sustainable designs uses renewable energy sources like wind, solar, and hydroelectricity. So what are the aspects or considerations for sustainable design? We would be looking at renewable energy, ecological value, passive strategies, whole life cost, transport of the materials, wealth and
health and wellness, sustainable materials which could be used in a long-term lifespan of a building. So here are the examples of buildings which look modern as well as are very sustainable, which have the contemporary design as well as it contributes to the sustainability of the climate. If we see, we have three distinct climates. We have hot, dry, we have cold, and we have warm and humid in India. And these were the representations of the climate with respect to the design. So climate consideration is very important when it comes to designing sustainability. We need to understand where the sun path is. We need to understand which facade is getting heated up throughout the day and treat that facade with more efficiency. So climate consideration is essential for sustainable buildings. Designing for different climates is a challenge and opportunity for sustainable design. Climate affects how buildings use and save energy, how they interact with natural environment, and how they provide comfort and well-being for the occupants. So making your building comfortable as well as giving it a contemporary look is what we can achieve. This is the basic sun path. We will be looking at how which facade is getting heated up, which facade needs to be shaded, which facade can allow ample light and ventilation. So if you design your building with careful considerations of the sun path, you can take advantage of the strategies such as natural ventilation, natural daylighting, passive cooling and heating, and PV energy generation. So these are a few examples like how we can take in the natural sunlight into the indoor spaces. So sustainable design is also known as green design, environmentally conscious design, or eco designs. We'll be looking at examples, case studies of how sustainability can be achieved with the help of modern technology, wherein the surrounding climate plays a very important role. We can add water bodies for naturally cooling the environment and also giving thermal comfort to the people who are residing or who are working in these spaces. When it comes to sustainable construction, the aspects we can achieve are save energy and water, maximize durability, minimize waste production, ensure the cleanliness of the building, use eco-efficient materials, decrease weight, plan conservation and rehabilitation, ensure safety conditions at work, minimize the life cycle cost of materials. So with respect to civil engineering aspect, these considerations are very important and we will be also focusing on all of these aspects. Yes, so with this we have given a brief introduction to the elective of sustainable architecture. Hoping to see you in the class. Thank you.
Okay, hello students. I'm Professor Karekar from Information Science and Department. The Information Science Department is offering a professional elective course on Introduction to Data Structures. The course code is 22 IS641. This is 300 course. There is no practical involved in this. Okay. A prerequisite for this courses are basic concepts of C programming. It is actually the enhanced version of a C programming, where actually we are studying the application of the concept that we are learnt in a C programming. The objectives of this course are to introduce elementary data structures. It will give emphasis on selection of right data structure for a given problem scenario and to provide an insight to linear and non-linear data structures and their application. Generally, data structure, it is the way of organizing a data in a computer so that the data can be accessed fast, the no memory can be wastage. Okay, the job of searching the data becomes easier if you organize the data properly. Okay, there are different concepts in the data structures. I am discussed about this subject is totally divided into 5 different units. Each unit comprising 8 hours. In the first unit, we are introducing to data structure, where you learn about what do you mean by data structures, what are the characteristics of the data structures, okay, and the types of data structures. And we are learning a concept of arrays. This already you have learned in a C programming. Arrays, we are discussing about one dimensional array and two dimensional arrays. We are discussing the concepts of traversal of the arrays, sorting and searching, and matrix operations in this. Then the second unit is consisting of the actual data structures. We'll call it as a linear data structures, where we discuss about the stacks, a representation of a stack, the operations, and the implementation. Stack is nothing but the organization of a data in an array, where the insertion and deletion will done from a same end of the array. Okay, and that end will call it as a stack. We'll call it as a the process of inserting the elements into the array, will call it as a push operation. The removing the element, will call it as a pop operation. Okay. Then the next linear data structure is a queue. This is similarly to the implementation of a normal queue, where we see every day in a, say, in a bank or a movie theaters and all. Okay, in this concept also, we are organizing the data in a such a way that the element is inserted into the queue from the rear end, and the element is removed from the front end. This concept, will call it as first in first out. We'll in this course, we'll learn about how the queue is represented, what are the operations, applications of it, implementation, and all. Okay. The fourth unit is comprising another non-linear data structure. We'll call it as a linked list. Okay. Sorry, this is also linear data structure. In case of a linked list, we'll discussing about the concepts. Okay. Generally, what you have in second and third unit, it is a implementation of a data structure by using arrays. In this case, same concept of stack and queue is implemented by using a dynamic memory allocation. That concept, will call it as a linked list. In linked list, we are having a two types, singly linked list and doubly linked list. Another type is a circular linked list. Okay, that we are going to introduce in the fourth unit. In the fifth unit, this is a non-linear way of organizing a data. We'll call that concept as a trees. We'll discuss about what do you mean by a trees, what are the different operation possible on a trees, and all. Then another concept, will have a heap. Heap is also a kind of a tree, and these structures, will call it as a non-linear data structures. The textbook for this is A.E. Balguruswamy. Then we have a Tenenbaum. Okay, the application of this subject is occurring everywhere in the industries. For example, if you talk about the operating system, the concept inside these has to be implemented by using a concept of stacks, queues, and all. Okay, these concepts of these data structures will come into picture everywhere. All the applications, whether it is a e-commerce, whether it is a banking application, networking, okay, all these algorithms, what we are going to use, for example, in a networking routing algorithm, where it will transmit the packets from one router to another. Okay, so in between, the data structure which is used to store the uh, packets is compromising arrays. In the arrays, how it is implemented, it might be either queue or stack. Similarly, the operating system, we can execute the multiple number of programs at the same time. The reason behind this is a queuing algorithms. Okay, and this subject will give you edge while you attend this campus interviews. Okay, where most of the companies, they will prefer on the data structures and all. Okay, and this will give you a job, either in application industry or a service industries. Okay, and this subject, it is a base for development of the applications by using any programming languages. Thank you.